playing a friend's web. My friend is a writer. I don't really understand what kind of things he writes about, but it seems that he's captured quite an audience. He's also quite good looking. A lot of girls kept on nudging me with questions about my friend's relationships. I think. He's also very smart and knowledgeable. Back at his house, I think, there are lots of books written by various authors. I think some of those books were his. I don't really remember much. But aside from the wits and beauty, he's also very kind. He doesn't yell when you try to speak out of place, doesn't hit you when you make a mistake, doesn't threaten you when you try to fix that said mistake. What a life are you living? No, he's far from that. His voice is low and calming. There's no sign of agitation and aggressiveness anywhere. If you ever have a problem, since he's a good friend, he'll help you out. He won't leave you alone, even if the world is falling apart. Even if you're useless, dead weight, you can't do anything right. Sooner or later, he'll turn you into something very useful, and you'll be happy. And you won't get sad. You'll rejoice. So, why are you crying? Someone finally thinks you're someone worth paying attention to. Don't make that sad face. Dang, this is pretty sad. Oh, my vision finally clears. This place seems so familiar to me. But I have absolutely no idea where I am. Toxic gases dancing in the air, the sky devoid of hope and light, filth in the surroundings. Right, it's just the same old everyday scenery, except I don't exactly know which specific part of town I am at or what I'm even doing here in the first place. Acting on instinct, I opened my coat to reach for something resting in my pockets. It was a matchbox and a small notepad. I'll call it a notebook. Oh wait, there are two kinds of notebooks inside. One has so much writing that some letters are fading out, and one seems to be newly written. Acting on instinct, it was as if something that was engraved in the back of my mind. Huh? What was I doing here? My gloves, my coat, the trail leading to under my feet, they were shrouded with black powder, charcoal. I'm dirty. Maybe my life was in danger once again, and I found myself crawling out of trouble once again. Though I can't say for sure, I don't remember anything prior to regaining my senses here. Opening the notebook, the one with the fading text, I familiarized myself with its contents. These were my handwritings. Memories came flashing back to me as I continued skimming through my notes. Apparently, this kind of thing, blackening out and forgetting, is a normal occurrence. My dear friend worries for me, which is why he asked me to keep a notebook with me at all times. I will write down the things I see and do as I wander around in this town. Okay. And after I've had enough fun, I will retreat to his house and tell him all about the journey I had. There was no guarantee I will remember any of it, which is exactly why I was tasked to write down everything that's happening. I should be on my way. I think I've been out for too long. He's probably waiting for my return. This place seems familiar, alright. It must be my friend's place. There were so much dark colors and the whole atmosphere seemed so gloomy. I wish this place was more well lit. Sending my thoughts aside, I headed inside. It is what I would have done if the front door wasn't locked. Isn't there a key here anywhere? I searched my coat under the mat and the flower pots everywhere. The notebook doesn't say anything about a key, nor does it say anything about the front door being locked. I'm very tired. I have the feeling he's on the second floor, so I yelled real loud. Hey! I'm here! I'm outside! I can't get in. Hey, are you there? There was no reply. I got impatient and my voice is hoarse from yelling so loud. I don't usually frown, but this situation of being ignored is getting to me. The rock I picked up from the filthy surroundings, I threw it as hard as I could, targeting the windows. The hole found its way cracked in the glasses. For some reason, my heart started racing the moment I saw the cracked window. I felt anxious. what I should call it, anxious. With a rusty metal rod found lying with the other mess in the area, I broke the whole window, disposing of the glass as they hit the floor out inside the house. A little while ago, there was the cracking of glass ringing in my ears, but right now there is nothing but silence. No one came rushing to the scene. No one is looking at the mess I made. This is funny. It's dark inside. I can still see some parts of the house, but it's so dark. This place could use a little light. A little light. Heh. I can imagine this whole place well lit. I shook my head. I was inside now. I need to focus and... What was I doing here again? I had the notebook, right? Oh, there were 2 notebooks inside the pockets of my coat. So... Oh yeah, I was gonna meet my friend here. He's upstairs, isn't he? What was I standing around for? I proceeded onwards, my boots cracking the grass shards stuck in them even further. It's so dark in here. I should ignite something before going inside. For some reason, I haven't crashed into something yet. Thankfully. It was only a matter of time before I could feel the knob of the door to where I think he is. The door creaked as I gently opened it. The whole place is as messy as I remember it. What I found pretty normal, as most of my memories of this place is it being a book flood. No? My eyes shifted to my friend's body lying on the floor with several books around him. Oh. Deciding to sleep on the floor. No wonder the front door was locked. He should have at least given me a spare key. I went to check on his body. He still has a pulse, his chest is rising up and down. He really was just sleeping. And he couldn't hear all that? It will take a while for him to wake up. I think. I made my way to the soft sofa and waited for him to wake up. I'm sorry for that. Did I make you wait for too long? Don't worry about it. I kept myself busy while you were out. Honestly, I have no sense of time. I remember staring at the air purifier, but I wasn't really thinking of anything. I don't even know if I waited that long. The good news is my latest book was a success. Couldn't have done it without you. He seems to always satisfy his audience. That's good. But curious, isn't it? Who reads his work? How do they have access to it? These are questions I've written and read in my notebook several times already. If I still haven't received an answer, maybe those questions are better off unheard? I might get angry if I pry. And because of the success of my work, I figured that I should take a break and have some time for myself. Perhaps it has come to the point where I have too much fun? I apologize if you have to see me sprawled on the floor. That's okay. Though, the window was broken. I'm sorry, it was because the door was locked. You weren't responding when I was yelling outside. I knew I had to get inside one way or another. Oh yes, that was when I was sleeping. My apologies. As for the door, it's not really locked. There's a bit of wood blocking the door frame, and I can't really do anything about it. I'd rather not tear it down, so don't worry about the window. Again, I'm sorry for the trouble I put you through. Oh, don't worry about that. I don't really do much aside from running from place to place. While you're just here, waiting for me. Hey now, don't say that. You're such a good friend. You bring me food, information, company. My books are successful because of you. You're my inspiration. Give yourself more credit. You deserve it. This is the kind of thing that makes me very uncomfortable. I don't understand it myself, but for some reason I feel dizzy and strange whenever he calls me his inspiration. Whenever he calls me... Has this happened before? Did he call me an inspiration back then too? Why does he look at me as if he's so proud of me? What have I ever done to him? Wait, isn't he my friend? Really? He looks like my friend and acts like he is, so he must be my friend. He's my friend. What is it that made him my friend in the first place? Are you alright? I'm sorry, what? You seemed out of it. If something is bothering you, I'm all ears. Strange. Why do you want to know? Well, I'm your friend, aren't I? Is that so? Wow, I feel horrible when he answered that. Even more after I realized I just doubted him. Can I see your notebook? My notebook? Yes. I would like to know what happened in your journey. I had a journey? Yes, you've always been on away on a journey. Wherever, you always seem to forget about them, which is the reason why you're carrying a notebook with you all the time. Write down everything that happens on your adventure, so that your memory of it will never fade. I remember... That was the purpose of the notebook? I guess the older notebook was about my personal information, the basics if you would call it, while the one with the somewhat new writings were all about what I just experienced. I can't really remember what kind of journey I had. Can I read it first before giving it to you? Or you're not obligated to give it to me. It's your notebook after all. I simply want to learn about the exciting things you did, since, unlike you, I cannot leave this house. There's that infuriating sting again poking at my chest. Why is it that every time I try to speak my mind, I always end up saying something idiotic? I simply cannot shut up, can I? Stop calling me that. What are you saying? I can't understand. Hey, are you alright, dear? Oh, I see. Why don't we read it together then? Think of it as you were telling a story, instead of the usual keeping records of events. A story? Here, lend it to me. Storytelling is what I do. You've been away for weeks now. I would just like to spend more time with you since I can't just ask you to stay with me here forever. I understand where he's coming from. It does seem kind of lonely staying here all day and night. I suddenly recall something from the past. Something about him being envious of the fact that I can go anywhere I want. And I remember being insensitive about it too. I've been too dumb, always running my mouth and hurting him when you've been nothing but a good friend to me. Sometimes, I think, behind that smile he's simply cursing me. And he has every right to do so. Thank you. For not throwing me away. I said thank you. For giving me a purpose instead of letting me be a waste of space. For what exactly? For wanting to spend time with me, of course. Despite the fact that the day will come when I completely forget about you. Oh, haha, I didn't think that's worth the gratitude. I simply wanted to spend some time with you. It is I who needs to be thanking you. Written the day that I may never come back, yet you still be waiting for my return. Alright. Read me my bedtime story then. I don't deserve you. A week has passed, I think. And in that time frame, I spent my days with my friend. My dear kind friend who I treasured greatly. As I bathed in his presence, the memories I had with him from before I left were returning piece by piece, I think. Thinking about it now, it was kind of comical that I have doubted him in existence. My friend has always been like that, and I have always been like this. He's unable to explore the outside, but he had the wits to sustain himself. I can explore the world to my heart's content. I have taken the role of his legs. He wants to get something? That's what I'm here for. He wants to know what's happening outside? That's why I write notes in the first place. It was the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, being given a purpose. And he was as tolerant as ever, a rare behavior when people talk to me. Both of us benefit each other in this friendship. We love each other. It was mutual caring all this time. Of course, that's why it was called a friendship in the first place. As someone who greatly enjoys warmth, the heart of a friend's love is everything that I could ever ask for. And once again, my feet has taken me away to whenever they decide to stop. I had some short breaks then to keep myself hydrated and to track down landmarks with the new notebooks I have in hand. The previous notebook, one where I wrote down my experiences, was in my friend's care, because that was the drill. I can't just keep on carrying all the notebooks I've had. That will only slow me down in my journey. The whole point of setting out was to let loose and have fun. Keeping track of things was just a small favor for my friend. Hang on, what does he do with my notebooks again? It was related to his work, I think. What was his work again? Different answers come back and forth in my mind. Not long after, I become aware of my surroundings. My eyes surveyed left and right to where my feet brought me. This place is... a rundown research facility. Town Central Burnt Residential Area. It's a rundown research facility. What? Huh? What the? It is you. It's really you. Didn't think I'd see you again around here. Where have you been? Do I know this person that doesn't have a head? I've never seen them before in my entire life. And what were they saying? I'm keeping my mouth shut. I hope my spell doesn't give away the fact that I don't know this person. That is, if they can actually see my smile. I mean, seriously, I just turned my head for a sudden moment, and all of a sudden, poof, you're gone. You still writing down whatever it is you're doing? Oh yeah, I could check that. Rushed myself into browsing the original notebook, something I decided to call the old notebook that has my basic information. And you still stink. You swam in oil again, didn't you? Gross. But enough worrying. We found a way out of this hellhole. Come with me. Huh? What? Notebook nearly fell from my grip when they forcibly took my wrist and led the way. As to where we're going, I do not have a clue. I simply let them take me away. After all, isn't that how you have fun in an adventure? Just going with the flow? Oh, hey, what's up? Who? Unbelievable. All this time you don't actually remember me? You're kidding me. Are you for real? It's... What? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I said I'm... What the heck are they saying? It sounds like I haven't heard in a long... That's a sound I haven't heard in a long time. Where did I hear it? Wait a second, where are we going? We slowed down as we drew closer to a rundown facility. As I was planning on going there. What is it? Where are we here? I told you, this is our one-in-a-lifetime chance. Our hope of escaping this dead-end future is hidden in this rundown science house place. If you want to leave this world for a nicer life, help us out. Leave this world? Funny, the idea never hit me. What this person is doing seems to be fun. I guess I can hang around for a bit. However, I have no intention of leaving this world. This whole thing is a wound that was left behind. Leaving would mean I chose to forget about everything. Forgetting about the love I receive. Forgetting about my dearest friend. What was his name again? Honestly, I forgot the friend's name too. I don't remember his name either. Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. Are there different endings? Books? So these are the different books. Angel and Pitch Black. The Princess of the Sea of Pearls. He has many books. I can't understand. I'm not really good at reading the Roman alphabet, so he reads this word for me. Oh, alright. It does say in the description that there are different books to get. And I got 2 of them, so there's 4 more. So every choice I make is different, basically. Alright. Okay, we're reading him a bedtime story now. Wasn't in the last... Okay, whatever. It took me a while for you to come back, though. Sorry, I got lost. Of course you did. As long as you get to return here with your notebook, I'm more than satisfied. Oh? What will happen if I return without my notebook? I doubt that you'll find your way here if that was the case. Let's pray that it never happens. Quite a scary thing, huh? Don't you get tired of it, though? Always having to be able to explain things to me, I mean? I would never get tired of you. Doesn't matter how many times we'll be doing this. So as long as you come back... I wish I had that kind of patience. A week has passed, I think. And in that time frame, I spent the days with my friend. Okay, now we just have 2. Okay, so every time we start the game again, we'll have something different. So now we'll go to Town Central. Isn't that where I already am? I remember this place. Some parts of it. Another headless person? Oh hey, can I ask you something? Yeah, sure, how can I help you? The foreigner had a bit of an accent. I could tell he was a foreigner because he looked so clean. Add the fact that nobody dresses like that around these parts. I need to find my way to the message to the remaining people. We're looking for a way out of this whole mess of a place. Country migration, huh? I don't really know what it's like in other parts of the world. I was always under always under the impression that this whole toxic area bit was worldwide. Seems like that is not the case. Telephone's down. We haven't had electricity running for years, I think. I don't keep track of time. But if you just want to signal people about your location, you can always create something that'll catch everyone's attention. So no signboards or anything, huh? We could start a fire or burn one of these buildings. That'll create big enough smoke to catch everyone's attention. Cute idea. I adore fiery passion. But that isn't a signal, it's more of an omen for the general public. You see thick smoke, that's to alarm people, sure. But given our circumstances, that's more likely to avoid it. So what, you want to use a signal flare instead? As if there's anything left in this dump. Yes, but compared to ordinary smoke, a colored one is a good sign. I think Dude, rescuers don't exist anymore. The only bro that'll help you is yourself. People will come as long as something's up. If they choose to ignore it, then that's their choice. Alright, then we should just make some. Dude, make something? I think I remember this place being a hardware store before. It's a ruin. Yeah, but I think there's still some usable materials here and there. Why don't you look for a stump remover and some pesticides? We're gonna try making stars. What stars? I know how to make stars. By stars, you mean it's loud enough for everyone to notice, plus they're eye-catching too. It'll function nicely as a single, yeah? Wow, sure, yeah, that's a great idea. Except for one thing. Everything around us is just garbage. You expect materials to be hazard-free after being deserted for years? He's right. What made me so confident about this? Pal, this is town central. There are resources anywhere you look. I don't look like someone who has expertise in pyrotechnics. Come. I've probably been here a dozen times and forgot about it. Just trust my sense of smell. I can barely trust myself. You don't have all the time in the world, dude. Just go and find what I asked for. If this doesn't work, here goes nothing. What's going on here? Other headless people came? Are we the only one with a head in our front? This group of people seems so interesting. They've all gathered here looking so delighted. Joyful hearts amidst the grim world. I guess I could stick around for a bit longer. Alrighty. What new books do we get? We got Ice Cream Club. Okay. Let's start again and see if it says anything different. Okay, we're back at our friend's house, and yeah, the window's broken. So each time we forget that we went somewhere and we come back. The window's already broken open, just like last time. Wait, why was it broken? Did someone force their way inside? I'm quite anxious to go in. Anxious? Is that what they call it? Despite my mind screaming at me to not go inside due to the potential danger, I still proceeded. My feet made contact with the glass shards scattered on the floor. I've only been aware of their existence when they made noise. Gazing at the shards on my feet, I wonder what it feels like to walk on them barefoot. I would believe for sure. But my feet feel numb most of the time, so will I be able to feel anything at all? I shook my head. I was inside now. I need to focus and... What was I doing here again? I had the notebook, right? Oh, there are 2 notebooks inside the pockets of my coat. So... Oh yeah, I was going to meet my friend here. He's upstairs, isn't he? What was I standing around for? I proceeded onwards, my books crackling, the glass shards stuck in them even further. We have a box of matches. Why didn't we use that? Okay, and it's messy. My friend's just lying there, sleeping. Okay, so the window's broken, and we know that somehow our fault. We say it was already broken when I arrived, I swear. That's how I got inside through the window, I mean. The window again? Again? You broke the window weeks ago. Weeks ago? Did we come back weeks at a time? I'm sorry, don't be. You already established back then that the window is a new entrance now. You should write it down in your notebook. Alright, go through the window, it's a new entrance, should be fine. Though I do remember promising to clean up the glass shards. Perhaps I'll do it later? Will your fair body hold on while you clean that mess up, I wonder? Again, I'm sorry for the trouble I put you through. Oh, don't you worry about that. I don't really do much aside from running from place to place. While you're just here waiting for me. Hey now, don't say that. You're a great friend. You made food and information company, my books are accessible because of you. Why do I feel like there's some secret war going on? His books are like, I don't know. This is the kind of thing that makes me very uncomfortable. I don't understand it myself, but for some reason I feel dizzy and strange whenever he calls me my inspiration. Whenever he calls me... Has this happened before? Did he call me an inspiration back then too? Why does he look at me as if he's so proud of me? What have I ever done for him? Wait, isn't he my friend? With the way you talk to me, it feels like we've been having the same conversations over and over. What are you trying to say? Nothing. I said I was just curious. I mean, if that was true, don't you ever get tired of it? You have to explain the same things to me over and over again? I would never get tired of you. To be honest, I find that unbelievable. Are you doubting me? No, it's just that you think I'm lying? No, I don't think you ever lied to me. If I was in your place, I would get tired of me too. No, you wouldn't. How are you so sure? Because I don't. Weird. Alright, and now we'll go to the burnt residential area. Oh, so this place must be... I didn't realize where I was until the person caught my attention. It's you. It's me? Do I know this person? Judging by the tone of their voice, they do not seem happy to see me. Wasn't expecting for you to show your damn face here after all the things you did. Aha. What things did I do? Well, it's a good thing, you know? I didn't have to trouble myself with hunting you down. The other survivors, they have strong will, you see. They are determined to rip you to pieces as I am. After a while, they come here to regroup. I told them to capture you alive. We've searched each corner for you. But hey, you made it easier for us by coming back here. A criminal cannot leave the crime scene alone, can he? I think it would be nice if you could just explain why you're so mad at me. Haha. The world is already ruined, Brat. We all know that. That doesn't mean you have the freaking right to ruin it further. The strange figure reveals a nailed bat in their grip, previously hiding behind their big figure. A spider trapping his prey in his web. This is my web, you rude piece of shit. With all their might, they charged at me and swung as hard as they could. Thankfully, I was able to bail myself away from the lunatic before they could recover their balance. I did not know why, but my instinct told me to hide inside the almost falling apart building. When they followed suit, I was able to slip through a hole in the building and covered it with destroyed furniture as I exited the building. The person was dangerous. I should leave. This person was dangerous. This person was dangerous. This person... The familiar scent of gas. Where are you? The dull and dark abandoned building. A spider trapping his prey in his web. I can leave. Don't worry, I will. Right after I enjoy myself. so confused. Now I don't even know what's happening anymore. Okay, so I have 4 books. There's 2 more that I can get. But how can I get 2 more? Well, let's just try again. Let me start again. Still has some glass parts on the edges. Okay. If someone was to go through this entrance, they would have to be extra careful, and so I did. Though I did wonder what if I removed my gloves and passed through the window normally? Like, if I didn't care there were still glass shards poking on the window frame. Sharp glass edges piercing my palm and some particles staying inside the skin. My hand would bleed, I'm sure, and I also think it would be painful. Really, it would be painful. How are you sure? Should I try it then, to get rid of the doubts? I shook my head. I was inside now. I need to focus and... What was I doing here? I had the notebook. Right, you have the notebook. Will we have a good conversation this time? Is there something you'd like to say you can tell me? Huh? There's something troubling you, isn't there? Oh. Did the world end? Strange. You think the world ended? I think I recall this place being a paradise. No toxic air, no ruins, people everywhere. Please tell me that isn't just something my brain made up. I'm not quite sure. It was already like this when I arrived. Oh. So it's only this place that's messed up. Everything's fine? Where are you from? Guess you could say that. The stories you write, are they for the people in your homeland? Indeed. Where is your homeland? Does it matter? How do you send a manuscript when you can't leave this place? Someone picks it up every month or 2. Last question that I'm going to bother you with. How did we become friends? I wasn't always like this. I was impatient, colorful, daring. Never afraid of anything, would have accomplished all my goals I've had in mind. But you wouldn't respond to me. You changed. Because of me? I wanted you to be satisfied. Why? Does it matter? Do you hate me? No. I can never hate you. But I find it hard to talk to you sometimes. Because I can never be like him. Somewhere. So now we're somewhere. Anywhere. I kept walking and walking, unsure of what I'm even expecting to find. According to my notebook, there'd be at least a person or 2 hanging around this place. Strange, maybe they're inside their homes. If that's the case, then I better not disturb them. I just kept on walking and walking until I reached the town central, or at least what's left of it. I remember meeting at least one person loitering around here, and now there's no one but me. It's even more surprising that I actually remember something. But then again, I'm pretty sure I'll just forget about it later. It's always like this. I walk around even more, throwing aside some fallen lampposts I got in the road. And as for the debris, well, I threw aside those that I can carry. Not a single person on the way to the burnt-down residential area. There'd at least be a thug or mean-looking guy waiting to beat me up near the marines of the gate. Oh wow, I remember that too? Who is with me today? I'm on a roll. And now I wish I didn't remember any of that. It's quite lonely being aware that there used to be people around here waiting for you to beat you up, even if the reasons were terrible. Today, there's just no one here. No one but me. Did they leave? That's impossible. You can't leave this place. What am I doing here? This place seems so familiar to me. But I have absolutely no idea where I am. Toxic gases dancing in the air, the sky devoid of hope and light, filled in the surroundings. Right, it's just the same old everyday scenery. Except I don't know exactly which specific part of town I am at, or what I was even doing here in the first place. Pressing pockets, there was a matchbook and a small notepad. Is that what they call it? It's a notebook, and there's two. Careful footsteps crept behind me, accompanied by a dripping noise and low growling. What the heck is that? What is that? It smells. It's terrifying. The dripping that I was hearing was coming from its mouth. The thing kept on walking towards me as I stared in fear, in shock, in confusion. I'm not scared. I know I'm not. But those faces, those familiar voices, that familiar thing right in front of me. I ran. Is it going to kill me? I don't care if it will. I just don't want to see it or hear it. That's why I ran. That's why I'm running. Back to the house. The house. Where was the house? I got the notebook in one hand and tried browsing as I ran. I can't read it like this. No, I had to stop. But I don't want to stop. I can still hear it from behind. Before I knew it, the breeze was falling. There's one more book? That was weird. Oh, okay. So now someone has been burnt to death right next to me. And I can't remember anything. But when I tilted my head over the burnt flesh to get a clearer view, I knew it was not something I would consider as someone. Oh, it's like a monster of some sort. I can't help but feel awe. These placements aren't normal. Multiple eyes, large lips indicating a large mouth, 3 flesh sticks. That's the thing that was chasing us before. Not to mention the carved faces. It may have been terribly burnt, but I'm an expert in recognizing these kind of things. It's like people were merged into one thing. Amazing. Only if I knew what it looked like before it became like this. Here's the town central, I think. I have no idea why I'm here, nor what I'm supposed to do in the first place. Maybe I'll look around to help me remember something? I looked around and saw some leftover fireworks. Pretty sure I learned how to make this kind of stuff. Really, I did? I stayed for a while, poking the rubbles here and there. Just when I decided to get back on my feet and have the wind take me where it blows, I heard it. Footsteps. It's that thing again. The thing I found earlier. I found another one. Amazing, I've never really seen anything like it before. It looks like a monster from a storybook. Pen? Paper? Ah, I have a notebook. Suddenly, I reached for a small notebook in my pocket. Pen. And for the pen in the other pocket. I had to sketch the thing. I want to remember it. There's a feeling that I'll forget about it and never see it again if I don't sketch it right now. But before I could start drawing anything, my entire body froze. When I heard voices. Voices from that thing. They're saying something. Something familiar that I've heard several times before. Carefully, I returned the notebook and pen inside my pocket to maintain my gaze on the creature in the process. What is this? Shut up. Quiet. Where are you? Why wouldn't you shut up? I ran. That's it? Okay, so we got all... That was weird. I'm so confused. I don't understand what's going on. Okay. Alrighty, so that's the end of A Front Web. I started it again and the same ending came up. And we got all 6 books. I think I'll make another episode where I read all the books to maybe piece together the story, because the story is just really confusing and I don't understand what's going on. Maybe there's some type of meaning behind this. Maybe you guys interpreted the meaning yourself. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye.